One.
Ayan, welcome back everyone dito sa latest episode ng RNC. Yan, Richard and Christian. Good to see you, brother.
Good to
Kamusta?
see you. Okay naman, Richard. Since our last conversation with Mark, that was the last time we had a conversation.
Last week
Parang
lang yan.
2 linggo na yun, ano?
Hindi naman, parang last week lang naman, hindi kaya? 1.5 week eh. Oo.
Na-miss ko nga yung usapan natin actually. So excited ako sa usapan natin ngayong gabi at sana naman itong gabi mukhang mainit na naman ang mga pag-uusapan nating mga topics.
Medyo mataas ng maging hina-hina lang yung mga mataas ng blood pressure. So obviously, the reason why I reach out to you, among others, is gusto kong pag-usapan to get your point of view dun sa yan na naman, may mukhang allegedly Pogo-related person na newly minted Filipino citizen, and as Senator Riza said, parang wala tayong natutunan. Including some senators who should have known better, right? Considering their
Yep.
involvement in exposing Alice Go. And then obviously, nung isang araw also dun sa UTAC Forum. This is the forum I oversee with government and experts on West Philippine Sea, among others. So andun yung mga National Security Council, AFP spokesmen and all. So as we speak, may mga inaaresto na sila ng mga alleged Chinese spies, including those who have been caught red-handed, one in Palawan, one here, yung mga nagpipicture sa mga critical infrastructure. As we speak also, there's serious discussion about NGCP and the Chinese state-owned company having almost 100% control, technically speaking, and 40% control, financially speaking, sa national grid natin. So these are very serious issues. Pero bago dyan, medyo bardagulan muna tayo, warm up muna tayo. Bro, did you attend yung July 31 rallies, or kamusta what is your impression based on the information you have come across?
Well, actually, hindi ako nakapag-attend nung, nung January 31 rally, which was yesterday. I came from a gathering of mga media personalities and in Cubao. And I was going to go, kaya lang medyo nagkaroon ako ng personal emergency kaya hindi na ako nakadaan. Pero alam mo yung nakikita ko doon, syempre, ang binabatikos ng mga Dutertards ay konti lang naman daw ang pumunta at wala naman daw yan at walang kwenta naman daw yung rally na yan at parang syempre minamaliit nila yon. For me, alam mo, I think naman na never naman talaga naging issue yung size. It's about the call for accountability. Yun lang yun eh. And it was multi-sectoral. Yun ang maganda doon. Number one. Number two, kinukumpara nila yan doon sa INC rally. Pero wag natin kakalimutan, INC is not the same as a Sara Duterte rally or a Duterte rally. Kung tingin ng mga Duterte at ng mga DDS na kaya nila mag-mount ng ganong kalaking rally, then by all means, susubukan nila. Pero ang mga nakita natin sa maisog rally nila ay halos nilalangaw.
Medyo
Kaya
walang drone shot.
oo nga eh. Kaya nga, di ba? Yung nakakatawa nang-iinsulto sila, nagsasabi sila na wala namang kwenta yung rally na yan. But then again, they cannot muster the numbers. INC members went for INC. They have their own agenda, di ba? And in this case, ang maganda lang naman sa nakita natin dito ay talagang multi-sectoral at marami din naman ang nag-attend nung rally na. Ando doon ka, Richard. What was your take on it on the ground?
Yeah, so I attended 2 out of 3. Hindi ko na na-manage mahabol yung pangatlo kasi medyo malayo. Liwasan Bonifacio ng Makabayan Block. Although from what I gathered and all, and Congressman Castro just retweeted a tweet I made about them. So mukhang na-approve nila yung take ko sa nangyari sa kanila. Well, ang basa ko dito is, first of all, I was pleasantly surprised. Actually, maraming dumalo dun sa pinaka-first. Yung prayer rally na 9 a.m. pa lang dyan sa may, hindi ito yung EDSA Shrine. Ito yung memorial dun sa may White Plains. Kasi
Right.
inisip ko, like, paano kayo mag-rally dyan? Baka 10 tao lang nang doon. Next thing we know, at least some estimates suggest that around 10,000. Some probably exaggerated to more than a few tens of thousands. But I think at least a few thousands ay nandun, base sa nakita natin. And unlike yung Maisog rally, whatever rally, mga DDS, actually may drone doon. So it looked like enough people showed up para magkaroon ng drone. And that's why ginagawang malaking issue itong allegation na binigay daw ng 1,000 or hindi binigay ng 1,000 daw yung iba nag-attend. So, why would the DDS make a big issue out of that? Siyempre, ang joke ko is, dahil 500 lang ba yung offer dyan? Na naman tayo, Bardagulan. No, but kidding aside, in fairness, ang init nung umaga and then biglang umulan. Literally, you can see it in some of the videos I get. I was talking to Professor D, yung apo nila Aquino. And also to
Mm.
Ronald Llamas. As we were talking, may drizzle na, di ba? So tumakas-takas si Ronald Llamas with my lapel na hindi pa rin niya binalik. Um, so I think a lot of people actually showed up. So much so that if you look at it, Senator Trillanes just showed my drone shot siya na he proudly talked about a huge number of people. And bro, hindi katulad ito nung mga pink rally na nakita natin in the past. Very diverse siya. Maraming mga masa, maraming mga middle class, maraming mga Gen Z na kabataan, maraming mga matatanda, maraming mga ka-age natin, Gen X, older millennials. So in fairness, very diverse given the limited space and all. I think it was pretty solid. And then after lunch, pumunta ako dun sa isa pa, yung sa EDSA Shrine naman. Logistically, it
Mm.
was very
Sa
doable.
kabila.
Yeah, sa kabila. So I went there, and then lunchtime, inintay ko yung videographer ko. And then inuna ko yung videographer ko kasi parang akala ko malilate siya. Nauna na ako. The next thing I know, nag-message ang videographer ko, pare, andito ako sa cafe shop kung saan dapat nag-meet tayo. Ang mga nakikita ko dito, and now you can see where I'm going. Mga taga-SMNI. Ayan, ayan. And
Ah.
then I go there inside the rally. Of course, you have the usual friends, yung mga followers natin. Shout out sa mga followers natin. Religious group, Christian Democrat, Christian Socialist, Liberals, Progressive, Kalyodi, kausap natin, Chef, yung mga friends natin from different sides. But I also saw some general or two cabinet members of Digong. So sabi ko, this one is interesting because Senator Trillanes actually made a warning that this one will be slightly different. Now, the morning one was absolutely clear, brother. It was all about impeach Sara. Impeach, impeach, impeach Sara. Now na, anong petsa na? No, obviously may mga kritisismo kay BBM, inflation, saan na yung 20 pesos kada kilo, ganun ganun. But 95% of the messaging was really about Congress should act now on the impeachment complaints. Kasi yung
Mm.
mga nandun na yung mga tao na nauna na nag-file ng impeachment complaint.
Right.
Tenor, the cadence, and I would say even quantitatively, medyo iba yung sa EDSA Shrine. And I think it's not only the DDS people I saw in the crowd or the SMNI people lurking in the over the horizon or maybe no more horizon, baka mamaya pumasok na rin. It's that what came up over and over and over again, brother, is the worst budget ever, the worst budget ever. And then yung isang kasama po natin, kasalanan mo to lahat na to, BBM, yung mga ganon. So, parang sabi ko, medyo, kaya pala hindi nagpakita sila Trillanes and others. Pero in fairness, sa Akbayan, people were there. People who attended in the morning were there. And, there was a lot of diversity. I appreciated that. But my concern there is that although in fairness, the media coverage, the Philippine Daily Inquirer front page emphasized yung unity of message on impeach Sara. To be honest, the one in the EDSA Shrine, for me, medyo diluted yung message. If anything, more parang anti-Marcos pang dating sa akin. More anti-budget.
Yeah.
Plus, bring us back to this issue. And I
Alam
want to
mo,
ask you about this, bro. How can we say this is the worst budget ever? Of course, ang dami problema sa budget na yan. But are you saying this is worse than Digong's budget in 2020? And worse than, where is the data? Where is the comparative data? So, ang worry ko, itong mga ganyan semantics na yan, ay
yeah.
music to the ears ng mga DDS. So, hindi ko sinasabi na kinancel out yung nangyari nung 9 a.m. with the Akbayan and then in the afternoon with the Makabayan. Because the Makabayan, brother, was very, very clear. Tigil na itong Pusit Games essentially ang nananawagan ng taong bayan na na mag-resign na si Sara. Klaro yung Makabayan, klaro yung Akbayan, klaro yung Magdalo, right? Klaro yung mamamayan liberal. Pero yung isa sa EDSA Shrine, which is very symbolic, not very clear to me. If anything, it was some of the speakers were probably more focused on Marcos. Now I want to get your point of view, bro. Based on my underground information providing to you. By the way, mayroon ako na post na mga videos and all. So I can back up everything I say. Literally, you can hear may nagsasalita doon na worst budget ever, worst budget ever. So you can hear.
So, you're saying that sa EDSA Shrine, may mga nakita ka ang mga Duterte supporters and cabinet members? So, but did they mention about having VP Sara resign? May mga ganun bang usapan doon? Or wala? Kasi I know that, our good friend, Professor Shelo Magno, has been, basically coined that most corrupt budget and all the newspapers, all the media, pick that up and then yun na nga use that sensational headline with this total disregard to the reality of is it the worst budget or not. Again, yun na nga tama yung sinabi mo Let's do a comparative nga side by side para makita nga natin kung totoo bang this is the worst budget. And it is debatable, highly debatable because you can look at other budgets that are a lot worse. In the previous administration, arguably that could be the worst because imagine mo, confidential funds lang went from 450 million all the way to 4.5 billion, 'di ba? Yung palang tell me that that's not the worst budget. I mean, that confidential fund just ballooned 10x, 9x to 10x, diba? So there are a lot of different ways to skin this issue of what is the worst budget. Ang tanong ko lang is, bakit yun ang pinag-uusapan ngayon? So, sino yung, and honestly, again, we're friends with Professor Shelo, but I'm gonna call a spade in this one. Alam mo ang problema kasi, no? Pag isa kang aso na kung saan ka nakakita ng masarap tumahol, tatahol ka na lang doon, tahol ka na lang ng tahol sa lahat, yun ang problema, hindi ka na, wala ka makukuha. 'Di ba? Honestly, i-focus mo yung attention mo sa isa, then deal with the other one later. There are two problems you have to deal with. Which one is the more immediate present danger of the two? Ayan, tignan mo, sino sa kanilang dalawa yung clear and present danger at this moment? Priority. Alam naman natin pag tinignan mo.
Saka,
That,
sino yung exposed, bro? I mean, you had months and months and months of hearings dun sa Mary Grace Piatos, sa confidential fund ni Sara. You have years and years of ICC investigation, years and years of CHR investigation. So my point is, hindi pa nga na-implement tong budget na to. We already cast aspersions as the worst ever. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't criticize it. I'm not
right.
saying it's a perfect airtight one. Of
Yep.
course it's not. And by the way, we're not doing whataboutism. Because whataboutism assumes that we are already agreeing na talagang anda. Let's wait. Let's see how is it implemented. Because I'm still waiting. Sino yung Napoles? Saan yung mga Napoles? Diba? Saan yung mga mambo jumbo?
Yep.
Let's be evidence-based. Let's be data-driven, comparative. Kasi ako bro, naintindihan ko naman kailangan ng semantics para to get attention of people. Kasi politics is about passion. But But I'm sure if you were the Duterte people in the crowd, tuwan-tuwa ka dyan. And I'll tell you one thing, bro. For actually 1 minute, nilagay ng malaking tarpaulin. Di ba para may highway doon na magka-cross? Ang laki ng tarpaulin, bro. Tapos basically, you could see versions of that on Facebook. Ang laki ni Martin Romualdez na sa gitna, and then konti sa gilid lang si Sara tumatawa at saka si Marcos. That visual, brother, says everything that rally, at least the people who tried to organize it, were more focused on alleged anomalies of Martin Romualdez and all, and it perfectly fits into the Tambalaslos narrative of the Dutertes, not to mention their blank item misinformation about the budget. So, that's what I'm saying. I'm not making these things out of thin air. These are not impressionistic. You literally see the
Yep.
visuals. You literally hear the words worst budget ever, worst budget ever. So, what you're saying is that hindi lang yung urgent trend ang Dutertes, sila yung exposed literally through hearings and all. Ito sa BBM, I still want to see where's the Napoles, where's the evidence, and where's the comparative data.
Yep.
So, procedural din ang argument ko dyan.
So, So apparently, ito yung ano ko doon ito yung interesting sa akin doon this was brought out during the SMNI interview with Duterte and Representative Ungab, di ba? Sabi sina parang nabanggit 'yon. Alam mo yung ganito, I mean, I have to give credit to Digong I mean, he is still a master of being able to create a narrative that we can talk about. Non-issue becomes an issue. Now, again, alam mo, there are two sides to this blank item thing. And una, parang pinapalabas that it was a blank budget. Tapos ngayon biglang backtrack kasi lumalabas, ay hindi pala yung budget yung blanco. Yung sabay bicameral committee. So, anong pinagsasabi yung budget? Yun yung pinapalabas nga originally na budget blanco daw. No, 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 bicameral. And then even in the bicameral, there are two sides to that story na may mga nagsabi na wala namang blanco ako nakita nung nagpirma ako, it was all filled out. May iba nagsabi may nakita akong blanco. So, who's really telling the truth and what really happened?
Or
But
baka
is the
bro, that's their
budget...
style. Modding the water, just throwing anything to see what sticks. Kasi
Yep.
this is very technical issue. Ano yung
Yep, it
procedures
is.
ng bicameral negotiations and all? So we had Senator Trillanes on the show the other day explaining to you as a former senator, pare, ganito yung procedure ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Mukhang ine-exaggerate na si screenshot lang nila at they're making asteroid out of anthill, not only a mountain. So I
Yep.
just feel it, unfortunately, it serves them. Basta nanggugulo lang sila, they're creating this shadow of doubt and shadow of distrust, which is dangerous. I'll talk about them. Why is it dangerous even in a worse way shortly? But sorry for interrupting you, bro.
Yeah, and nakakatawa lang to Richard na yun na nga eh. He created this narrative. Tapos again, I mean, everyone is entitled to whatever topic they want to talk about and anong gusto nilang sakyan. Yun ang sinakyan ni ng ating kaibigan ni Professor Shelo.
But to be
Syempre,
fair,
being an
sila
economist,
Johnson din, sorry, Joke, na sila Drillion din daw, sabi nila daw yan. So, I don't want to just say, I think ginamit din ng term na yan ni Franklin Drilon in an interview, sabi ni Sir Ronald Llamas, na yung worst
ang,
puppet ever. So, there are a couple of people actually using that term already. Hindi lang yung
right.
kaibigan.
Right, but it all started kasi with her interview, and then the other one was who was it? Another person who said, si JC Punong Bayan, who said the most corrupt. So silang dalawa yung nauna. And then sorry, let me rephrase that. Shalo Magno said the most corrupt. JC Punong Bayan said the worst. And then media picked it up, and then now everyone's repeating that narrative. And then the DDS and the troll farm, uy, pick up natin to. Amplify natin yung message ni Shelo Magno. Ayan na. So ngayon nagpapiesta sila. And sa akin yun na nga and I think we agree on this one. And I think this is where we're a little bit more center than others eh. Ako, as much as I will criticize, I will pick my battles. We can't be in every one of these. And again, like you said, hindi ibig sabihin I agree with that budget. Marami akong issue with that budget. Pero ang mas malaking issue ko kasi ay yung budget na yan, pagpapatakbo ng ating gobyerno, wala, okay na yan. I'll let it be kasi it's the same amount as it was last year. Actually, it's a little bit less. Number one. Number two, tumatakbo yung gobyerno, okay na ako doon. May mas malaki akong issue na katiwalian na nakita. Obvious, harap-harapan, garapalan talaga na nagsinungaling yung tao, gumawa ng fake receipts. That's a bigger issue for me. And that's the one, not just that, there was a destabilization effort. Mas malaking problema yan. That is what you call the clear and present danger right now. Kaya nagtataka talaga ako kung bakit nagkaganon. And that's why for me siguro, no, nagkahati-hati yung mga bosses natin nung January 31. Dahil nga, instead of just uniting to talk about one topic, no, let's talk about every topic. We can, but you're not gonna achieve anything.
Yeah,
Laser focus.
yeah. I mean, as Confucius said, right? A man who chases two rabbits at once catches none, right? So, Kung Ifa Choi, happy Chinese New Year, by the way, brother. We'll talk about the related matters shortly. No, but going back to this, yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. Yun nga like, alam naman natin na the vultures have been hovering around and waiting for anything, any whiff of corruption, as to use Duterte's poetic prose, no? To exaggerate things. In fact, ang tanong ko, do you think that Dutertes would have said this if Sara was still in the good graces of the government? If Duterte felt that BBM was doing his bidding? Of course not. So I think it's incumbent upon anyone who wants to focus on the issue of corruption to keep on reminding everyone na hindi scot-free ang mga Dutertes. Na this is a Duterte legacy in as much as they want to criticize BBM too. And it's that lack of nuance and caveat that keeps on really worrying me. Like, why are we not doing that? Is it because some of our friends are so never Marcos that they rather not much talk about the Duterte aspect, no matter how exposed the Duterte abuses have been? Kasi yun yung theory ng iba na medyo never Marcos mode na talagang mga ibang kaibigan natin eh. And and and
Um,
and they feel baka tayo, I cannot even say we're centrist, bro, kasi Akbayan and Makabayan are saying the same thing as us. I'm not sure
right.
we're centrist. So I think we're just trying to make the more big picture, greater evil focus on that argument.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. You're right on this one. At saka tama yung sinabi mo, the nuances of this ano. Kasi tignan mo nga no, nakakatawa ang nagbabatikos ng budget na to, siya mismo inabuso niya yung budget, kinorap niya yung budget. The Duterte family has corrupted not just the national budget, even their local budget. Look at Davao with a 500 million peso confidential fund. They don't want transparency. They want confidentiality with everything. At pag may nagtatanong sa kanila about their budget, nagagalit sila. And yet, sila yung nagsasabi ng, tignan mo tong budget ng Marcos, grabe kapalpakan nila. It's funny how it's like the pot calling the kettle black in this case, di ba? Walang credibility or integrity ang mga Duterte para magbatiko sa mga Marcos pagdating sa issue ng budget. Dahil nga nung panahon ni Digong, nakita mo kung gaano niya binastardize yung budget natin by giving the money that he corrupted to the Chinese nationals and foreigners, mga dayuhan. Yun na nakakabadtrip eh. Nangurakot ka na, binigay mo pa sa mga dayuhan. Sana naman binigay mo naman sa kapwa Pilipino. Hindi, binigay mo sa mga dayuhan. Yung farm
Na
Malaysia yan.
criminal pa. Na criminal pa.
Oh, mga criminal syndicates pa yan. 'Di ba? Yun ang very problematic sa akin sa argument na tama, this is the most corrupt budget. Sino nagsasabi nun? Tignan mo. Si Digong? Anong karapatan niya magsabi na ito ang worst budget? Look what he did. Now, again, not defending Marcos, but say this. Ito, at least kay Marcos, right, with regards to this, um, nakikinig pa rin naman siya sa tao kahit pa paano kasi nakikita mo nagbabacktrack siya, inaayos niya, he's trying to make it look good at least. At least on the visuals, maganda. Window dressing. Kahit pa paano nag-window dressing. Mga Duterte, walang window dressing. FU, gagawin ko ang gusto ko at wala kang magagawa. Yun ang pinagkaiba ng dalawa. Yung isa, concerned pa sa image. Yung isa, wala akong pake. Yun ang pinagkaiba nila.
Yeah, or in fairness, sometimes nag-adjustin si BBM, to be fair to the guy. I didn't vote for him. I'm still critical of him. I think he's not decisive enough. I probably think he's watching our show sometimes. But my point is, yes, sir, marami kang pagkakulang. Pero in fairness, baka minsan nakikinig ka rin. May konting adjustment, at least acknowledgement na may problema yung budget. You think Digong would have acknowledged? He would just say F you to all. And worse than that, he will unleash his trolls on you. Ito lang
Right.
masasabi ko sa mga kaibigan natin na worst budget ever. If you dared saying that in 2021 against Digong, tingnan natin ang mangyari sa inyo. Do you think you would have been able to arrange 3 different rallies like that with no harassment whatsoever? In fact, I'll tell you what, one of the interesting things dun sa isang rally, andun din yung mga BBM vloggers. Mga BBM vloggers,
Oo.
I interviewed them. I'll post separately. Sabi ng BBM vloggers immediately, ganun sila, Sir, BBM kami, admin kami, pero nirespeto namin yung karapatan nyo na mag-criticize ng government kung sa tingin nyo mali. Pero nandito rin po kami kasi gusto namin hindi magkakaroon ng abuso dito sa issue na to ng mga destabilizers. And speaking of destabilizers, this is not from BBM vloggers. This is from Justice Carpio and this is from Antonio Trillanes. Point blank, I asked Senator Trillanes, are you worried that there's a younger version of you now lurking in the barracks that could be activated? He said yes. In short, there is also clear and present danger of some Duterte ex-generals, I don't know if the ones who were attending the other day, but maybe some of the more extreme ones, who want to actually bring down the whole house. They want to go Joker. They want to go think of all of those DC Universe guys na let's just clean it up, purge, right? Let's just purge it all. May mga ganitong proto-fascist elements po, if not 3DS elements, who have no respect for our constitutional order. Now, you compare that level to whatever we have with BBM. I'm not talking Marcos Sr., but BBM. Levels yan, bro. Levels yan. As Joe Rogan would always say about MMA, pare, there are levels to this game. Kaya nga sabi ko, discernment is the name of the game. Of course, you have to criticize the government if may mali. But never forget, if BBM goes down, the two most likely scenarios is Sara presidency and the return of Duterte's, or B, even worse, RevGov.
Right.
Third option of good people taking over, wonderful people. For me, realistically, the best thing you can do is first take care of the business, focus on one rabbit, then make sure the other rabbit is close to the fire so that it doesn't misbehave, and then win 2028 and take over Malacanang and everything will be better. Ganun
Yep.
lang. Just be realistic. Wag yung ang sabog. Ang sabog bro, medyo sabog eh. Sabog kasi yung ibang kaibigan natin masyadong invested sa kanilang discourse. I think they're not looking at the big picture. And I'm frustrated because we have been warning about this. Ilan buwan ko na sinasabi, sinasakyan ng mga Duterte na. Last thing I want to say on this pare, may mga kaibigan tayo na proud na ang taas ng views nila bigla sa YouTube. What they don't notice is that mga DDS yan. Mga DDS yan na biglang, if your viewership is suddenly times 10 in a week or two, believe me, that's DDS crowd flocking to your page to boost you and to pick up talking points from you and to use it for their own agenda. Kaya wag tayo masyadong mapa-impress dahil lang mataas ang views natin sa isang issue. Ako, I'm always skeptical when suddenly something has a lot of views and then the comments are like, either bot ito or troll farm to or may political agenda to. So, yun lang sinasabi, bro. I'm not saying they're doing this because of the views. I'm just saying, sometimes, pag tumaas ang view, bigla yung mga videos mo, it doesn't mean it because your videos are fantastic. It just means maybe something else is going on here, right? That's why some of our friends na
Yep.
anti-Tulfo, they're my friends. I mean, the anti-Tulfo ay biglang sumikat dahil sino bang galit sa mga Tulfos? Mga Dutertes because they see the Tulfos as their number one rival. So I'm just saying discernment lang. Discernment. 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 That's all I'm asking for, brother.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if it's my internet or your internet. Somebody's internet's kind of going slow. But yeah, you're right. Alam mo, which you made a good point na kaya ako I try to not be try not to make videos for the views. It's hard. Of course, it's hard. Pero I just talk about the topic that I want to talk about, something that's personal to me or something that, na talagang important for me. I'll talk about it. Whether people watch or not, I really don't care. And sa akin, I've never been one to pander to an audience. At least I try not to. Ang hirap din eh. Syempre, kung mas marami nagko-compliment sa'yo, mas masarap naman yung kaysa binabatikos ka, di ba? Pero siguro nasanay na ako na binabatikos, kaya medyo matigas, makapal na rin ang mukha ko, matigas na rin yan eh. Kaya wala na akong pake dyan eh, di ba? As much as Richard, you get a lot of people that, man, you get a lot of bashers.
And
Wala
I
ka na rin
love
pake
it.
eh.
And I thrive on it. That's the
Di
problem.
ba? Di ba?
I
It
don't
doesn't bother
expect
you. And that's the point. Yung really do the work for the work, not for the views. Yun lang yun. I mean, views are nice. I see people na natutuwa. Pero, pare, beyond the views, man, let's stick with the integrity of just speaking truth and making sure people understand ano ba yung talagang problema natin ngayon. At ito pala yung important dito, no, na people look to us to get a perspective, to form an opinion. So sana maging mas responsable tayo sa pagbibigay natin ng ating mga opinion. Kaya nga, I mean, I don't mind nga, like, I will debate to the DDS or BBM loyalist, it doesn't matter. Kasi sa akin, may mga punto tayo na mapagkakasunduan eh. Di ba? Hindi naman tayo lahat mag-aaway-away on every point. May mapagkakasunduan dito eh. Pero yun lang. Let's focus on the problem and then fix it from there. And let's not get sidetracked by views, and I'm sure hindi naman lang ginagawa to for views. So
No,
I
they're
hope
not.
not
They're
at
not.
least.
And just to be clear, I still would say we're all in the same side. It's just
Yes.
that inevitable, even within the same side, there are going to be tactical differences or messaging differences. Kaya, constructively speaking, para moving forward, ito lang naman advice ko, sana magkaroon ng parang, ay, hindi naman steering committee, pero siguro magkakaroon ng core group, mag-uusap-usap ang different strands of the genuine opposition, not DDS, not SMNI, na para magkakaroon tayo ng konting alignment. I think we're doing a good thing. Kunyari, I was with Cello having panel discussion the other week. You're talking to me. You're talking to Christian. Christian's talk. Gets mo? So we're having that informally, but I'm hoping sana we have a much more institutionalized discussion among hindi lang genuine opposition, pero yung mga genuine people who just want a better Philippines, right? Hindi naman tayo, we're not politically motivated. I mean, you're still not in government. You're just about to run. So technically speaking, we're just civil society here, right? In my
Yep.
case, journalist, right? So yun lang naman pare. I just think we have to talk more and at the same time, hindi ito about personal fights. This is just points of disagreement. And at the end of
Yep.
the day, I think we all want the same thing for our country. And you're right,
Yep.
even with the BBM and DDS people, a lot of them actually have good intentions for the country. Mali lang yung paraan nila, mali lang yung mga choices nila. But I think a lot of them actually are good people, have good intentions. So let's just be open about it. In the same way, there are many great people in our side who may have different take on things and kailangan natin makipag-usap. Ako nga, nag-back to back ako kay Justice Carpio and Senator Trillanes, and I had to mediate and say, na actually, ito yung sinabi niya. Actually, ito yung sinabi niya. Because baka hindi sila nag-uusap more directly. So hopefully down the road, we can all sit down and have that conversation. Kasi ayoko mangyari, bro, is everyone is the David to the Goliath. Lahat may sariling bida-bidahan and then no one is talking. Ayoko yan, bro. Alam mo yun yung problema natin sa kultura natin eh. Lahat gusto maging bida, lahat kanya-kanyang diskarte. We need to have more consolidation, more message alignment. And the last thing I want to say on this part before we go to your part, because one thing I really appreciate about your work, bro, is and you don't do bad in numbers, by the way, just to be clear about it, because you do your due diligence. We saw that with the Quadcom hearings, and now I want to talk about another important development or two with you. But the last point I want to say on this is, ako, probably this guy's too leftist for you. But I go back to the works of the Italian thinker Antonio Gramsci, right? Over and over again. Someone that Giorgia Meloni and probably even Milei and all are reading right now. His idea is that if you want to become the new power for the good, you have to get rid of a couple of things. First of all, moralism. Wag good versus evil, pag goody-goody, that doesn't work. Because essentially you're saying, pag bumoto ka sa kabila, demonyo ka. Yung ganyan, it never works, bro. And then pangalawa, don't reduce everything to just corruption, economism, ganon. Because people vote for a million different reasons. Baka takot sila dahil may warlord. Baka identity issue, solid north, solid south. So don't reduce people to just or reduce politics to just one issue. There's so many other explanations why people vote along. And pangatlo, wag kang purist, cancel culture. Don't do that. Like you just talk to people na who completely agree with you or si A. Darren may sinabi nakakairita, wag na natin pag-usapan. I'm sure yung mga kaibigan natin na dilaw dyan, they have all sorts of code words or terms for me. They try to call it clout chaser to, mga ganyan-ganyan. Sorry kung I have clout and you don't, but whatever. So yun lang, we have to get rid of those things. Then I think we really have hope. But the least we can do is we have to have more of this conversation together. But now, bro, let's go to you. You're the expert on this. What the heck is going on? Pogo-related person daw, binigyan ng Chinese citizenship. By no less than, one of the supporters is one of our good friends, senators, who was helping Risa through and through, exposing yung mga whopping, go whopping of the Philippines. What the hell is going on? What's the big picture? Give us the detail, the issue, and how you feel about it. Happy Chinese New Year, brother.
So, this guy, Li Duanwang, okay, is a Chinese national. Ngayon, nabigyan nga siya ng Filipino citizenship by a majority of the senators. I think 19 of them, if I'm not mistaken, voted to give him a citizenship. And there was not a lot of questioning by anyone. It was sponsored by Senator Tolentino. And the only one questioning this Chinese national on getting a Filipino citizenship was our good Senator Riza Ontiveros. Ngayon, maganda yung mga punto na lumabas dito eh. Kasi ang punto na sinasabi nga ni Senator Tolentino, as a rebuttal to Risa Ontiveros, sabi ni Risa, tignan mo to, may picture si Li Duan Wang kasama ni Duan Renwu. Duan Renwu is the big boss of the Porac Pampanga Pogo, the most notorious of all Pogos. Ito na, yung karamihan naman nangyaring torture, mga murder, human trafficking, sex trafficking, lahat na yung nangyari dito sa Porac, Pampanga, okay? And they have a photo together in the opening of a casino called Nine Dynasty Casino. So, nung binanggit niya yun, sabi ni Senator Tolentino, na iba, marami na magpapapicture sa atin eh. Bakit naman we make a big deal out of it? Fair point, di ba? Na hindi mo naman talaga alam sino yung mga kasama mo nagpapapicture. Malay ko ba kung criminal to, di ba? Pero ito yon, ito yung interesting dito. Nalaman din natin that si Lee Duan Wang ay nagtayo ng junket called Nine Dynasty Junket Group. Kaya kasama siya doon sa opening at naimbita nga itong si Duan Renwu. Ngayon, do you think they know each other? There's a high likelihood that they know each other very well. But let's not be conspiracy theorists. Oh, on one item, sige, pwede natin palampasin to. Then, ang nalaman natin ay hindi niya binanggit at hindi niya nilagay sa application niya na siya yung nagpapatakbo nitong junket. Sabi naman ni Senator Tolentino, wala namang masama sa pagpapatakbo ng junket. It's
Red flag.
perfectly legal. And then, even Senator Tolentino was parang sugarcoating what a junket is. It's like a tour agency. Nagdadala lang ng mga high rollers dito sa Pilipinas to gamble. That's it.
Palusot.
He
I'm
failed to.
sorry, sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
Palusot. I'm sorry, nothing. Wala,
Oh yeah,
sorry.
Palusot, exactly. Because he failed to disclose, Senator Tolentino failed to disclose that junkets make money by providing credit to these high rollers. Kasi remember, if you're from China, hindi mo pwedeng ilabas yung pera sa China. Money laundering yan eh. Maingat ang China, for gambling. So what they do is, babayaran nila yung junket operator sa China, pero yung junket operator ang maglalabas ng pera dito in their own account, in another account, and bibigay, and then they get a cut out of it. That's how they make money. This is how money laundering is done. This is how they actually also do debt collection, which causes a lot of problems with extortion. Yan yon. So, ito yung nag-ooperate nun. Then, ito pa, nalaman din natin na itong Nine Dynasty Junket operations niya has an office in the same building as Yatay Spa. Yatay Spa naman is owned by the Chinese spy that's now in custody in, saan ba yun? Sa Myanmar ba yun? O nakalimutan ko na saan? Nahuli
Nasa
na
Al
siya, di ba? Yung
Jazeera
Chinese
News.
spy.
Ito yung Al
Right,
Jazeera.
yeah, sa Al Jazeera News.
Yeah.
He owns this Yatay Spa. And he has a spa there in the same building where Nine Dynasty Junket has offices. And may-ari din nung Avia International Club, which is a KTV, is si Lee Duan Wang. And it's also in the same building. So, parang, wow, coincidental lang. Okay, again, wala naman daw
Medyo
masama,
ang
sabi ni.
daming coincidence yan, bro.
Ang dami nga eh. Parang
Medyo narcos na yan. Like, daming
Parang
coincidence.
naalala mo si Harry Roque, ang daming coincidences. Ang dami mo namang
Exactly.
connection sa Pogo. Lahat na lang kilala mo, lahat ng Pogo. Parang talaga, ganun ka, coincidence lang ba ito lahat? So, ganun din ang nangyari dito. Ang dami sobrang mga points of contact, points of references. And ito na yung pinaka nakakatawa dito. I mean, again, todo depensa naman si Senator Tolentino. Sabi niya, bakit McDonald's din naman nasa baba ng building O bakit? Masama ba sila? Corrupt ba sila? O illegal ba sila? Criminal sila? Hindi naman, di ba? So tama, fair point again. Pero yun na nga yung nakakalimutan nila tignan yung buong konteksto
They
ng.
basically lawyered. They basically
Yes, they
lawyered
lawyered.
for it.
Exactly. Kasi ang basa mapa dito, this Lee Duan Wang also has a Filipino alias, Mark Koong, who has a Filipino citizenship from what it looks like because he has a TIN number for both names. A TIN number, he has multiple TIN
So may
numbers. So
fake
obviously,
identity siya. So he has a fake passport, fake identity.
exactly. So kaya nga nakakapagtaka talaga. Alam mo nang may fraudulent documents to. Yung BIR documents are fraudulent. The fact that he has more than one TIN number. The
Which is
fact that he
the
did not
crime.
disclose. Oo, he didn't disclose his alias. He didn't disclose he owns a junket. Ano ba ang tinatago niya? Bakit marami siyang hindi disclosure? And Richard, di ba pag nag-fill up tayo ng kahit anong government documents, di ba? Nakalagay doon, di ba? Do you swear that you're telling the truth and that you have not omitted anything
Yeah,
and that
it's
this
a
is the
perjury yan.
full details? And if you do omit anything, this application will be rejected or disqualified.
Tsaka may
Right?
criminal
Nakalagay yan.
lahat yan. Oo.
Oh, eto citizenship to. This is a big deal. Yet all the senators parang nagbingi-bingi na, walang narinig. Approve lahat, wala daw nakikitang mali. Alam mo, hindi whether may nakikitang mali or wala, hindi yun yung issue. Ang issue natin dito, bibigyan ba ng citizenship tong taong to? Why is it so important to give this person a citizenship? Now, they claim he's been here kasi for I think over a decade na ata, if I'm not mistaken. Yun ang hindi ko lang alam how long. I don't know if you know this.
That's
Now,
that's BS, bro. Ang daming mga nakapag-asawa ng Pilipino na foreigners na dekada-dekada dito, hindi pa rin sila citizens sa Pilipinas. And by
Alice
the way, hindi
Go.
sila pogo, hindi sila, this is so questionable. Ang daming
Yeah.
red flags, bro.
Pero Richard, for me, ito yung pinaka nakakapagtaka talaga na red flag for me. May nilabas ngayon na bagong information si Riza Ontiveros on X. Kakalabas lang, I think today, if I remember correctly, that this person actually has a company that has done illegal and criminal activities. Kakalabas lang nun na hindi niya nabanggit kasi ngayon lang na-reveal. And now, this calls into question na talaga yung pagkatao nitong Chinese national na to. Now, again, for me, nagtataka lang talaga ako sa ating mga good senators on why they all approve this almost unanimously. Okay? Now, I'm not going to allege anything, but I mean, why else would they do that and defend such a person and waste the people's time, the Senate's time to give a citizenship to somebody that questionable? Maraming mas deserving maging Filipino citizen kumpara sa taong to. Okay, should I say it? Na I think, posible ba na binayaran sila?
Deserving siya kasi ano
Di ba?
baka alam na ni ano, talangin natin si Harry Roque. He knows about who are the deserving people.
Ay, nako.
Supra citizen ito, supra citizen. No, you know what, brother? Thank you so much for laying out. Actually, again, sabi ko nga, you really, sana magka-production team ka. Kasi ano yun eh, may chart tabat yan eh. Parang yung mga narcos and all. Galing nung pag-layout mo, pare. People have to see this chart. Um, Actually, minsan inisip ko, ang hirap maging kung ikaw BBM. Wala akong sinasabi wala akong sinasabi. Pero kung ganyan ang mga legislators mo, right? Who are more than willing to lawyer for. And by the way, Tolentino was the political affairs secretary, essentially Ronald Llamas of Digong. Just to remind people, before he became this West Philippine Sea warrior all of a sudden. But anyway, going back to this, actually, parang kung isip, kung ikaw si BBM, tapos ganyan ang Senado, ganyan ang Kongreso, tapos, ewan ko bro, baka tama talaga si Digong, mag-revgov na tayo kasi minsan parang nakawala na ako ng pag-asa na rin eh. Like, it's so depressing. Like, Risa is really a lone warrior. Naawa talaga ako sa kanya. Like, ang hirap pares. Parang it's so easy to co-opt our system. Wala akong sinasabi but I'm just saying, it looks to me it's so easy to co-opt the system in the Philippines.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, of course, we don't know what really happened behind the scenes, right? Pero the fact na pinadaan lang nila to without even much of a fight to be able to give this guy citizenship is very questionable. Kaya nga, it begs the question eh. Meron ba nakuha itong mga senador na to? At kung meron, magkano? Mukhang malaki-laki yung mga nakuha nila. Kung meron, I'm not saying
Wala
meron.
tayong
I'm
sinasabi.
just
Exactly.
saying.
Wala tayong sinasabi. I'm
Yeah,
sure
it's
it's just
just
goodness of heart. Baka Chinese New Year, gusto nila good vibes. Maghanap tayo ng Chinese na bigyan natin ng citizen.
oh, 'di ba? Baka yun nga yun. Maraming mas deserving kung yun lang yun. Oh, 'di ba? Kaya nga eh. So for me at the end of the day, sana lang talaga our senators come clean. It's really frustrating na nakikita to na they prioritize a Chinese national over the Philippines. Again, sabihin na nga natin walang ginagawang illegal. Kahit na i-base natin doon sa walang ginagawang illegal. Oh, kahit yung pa lang. Pero ang daming questionable information in this person. At nagsinungaling na siya at nag-omit ng information at may fraudulent document. Yung pa lang disqualified ka na dapat. Kung si Alice Go nga na-disqualified dahil sa mga fraudulent documents, bakit ito hindi? Oh, 'di ba? Yun din yun eh. Now that Risa has this new information, I wonder if she's going to bring it up to Senate and will they revoke the citizenship now with that information? Tingin mo ba that our senators will have the balls to be able to revoke the citizenship they granted with this new information that Risa came out with?
Saan yung comb ko din sa mustache ko? Sabi nga ni Robin Hood Padilla, it's all about loyalty. It's all about loyalty. Nakita mo ba yung video na
Oh,
post ko kanina yung about Kiboloy? Si Kiboloy po ay napaka-loyal. Andun siya. Parang ganun lang yung standards nila. Basta loyal ka sa amin, wala kaming pake kung FBI wanted list ka. Wala kaming pake. Medyo grabe talagang it's that's why I'm saying itong RevGov idea na yan, it sounds like a joke now, but the more people hear about how potentially rotten our system is and how hopeless our case is, and I'm not very optimistic. I hope the best for Mark Gamboa and all, but it looks like the next Senate will be even more interesting, quote unquote. I mean, mawala talaga ng pag-asa ang tao sa sistema natin, and that creates a very dangerous situation just in case. But speaking of dangerous situation, meron din tayong ngayon nahuhuli na mga Chinese citizens na may asawang Pilipino or have been living here
yep,
for some, na talagang caught red-handed na sila, na meron silang mga improvised technologies, taking pictures of critical
yep.
infrastructure, whether it's in, I don't know, Balabac, whether it's in Manila, etc. So, um, on the record, you have the National Security Council, the NBI, and to a certain degree, even the AFP mentioning this thing. Again, with all due respect to Teresita Ang and some of our good friends in the Chinoy community, I think the best way here is yung mga Chinoy leaders to openly say we're willing to help you if there's some rotten apples here. Because I don't think any one of us, whether the government or the Chinoy community or us, the non-Chinoys, want a situation whereby you're targeting a whole community or anything like that, or feeding into xenophobia and all. But the reality is that the Philippines is at the forefront of a Cold War, and China has every interest to sabotage the Philippines as we get more American weapons in, as we build up
Yep.
our relationship with the US. This is just business as usual for espionage and defense ministry and all. And we had a case of Mr. Zhang last year na umalis na kasi nahuli na talaga siya ng intelligence services na kunyaring journalist but he was doing intelligence gathering for the Ministry of Security Services. So what Senator Senator Hontiveros was saying, bro, is that hindi lang pogo ang issue dito. Is this very dangerous cocktail of
Yep.
criminality and espionage and national security all feeding off on each other. And then ganyan yung Senado mo kung saan they're not even willing to have a serious cross-examination. I mean, buti pa yung Republicans sa US, mas strict pa sila sa
Mm.
mga nominees ni Trump despite the fact that they're all Republicans, kaysa ito mga supposedly independent senators who seem to be, parang, it's like Trump admin, interviewing Trump admin nominees. Parang ganun na nga, nililawyer pa nila eh. I mean, so,
Yep.
this is absolutely not only disappointing, actually scary siya. That just tells you how vulnerable the Philippines is to infiltration, to cooptation, and other things. Although wala tayong sinasabi, as I said, baka goodwill lang yan, Chinese New Year, they want to be just on the good side. Nag-raffle sila, sinong Chinese dyan ang gusto natin bigyan ng citizen? Oh, we have a winner. So, I don't know, bro. But I want to go back to this. Ikaw, what is your sense on this? What should the Chinoy community do as more and more people of Chinese descent or even people part of the Chinoy community or yung asawa nila Chinoy among others ay nabubuking na talagang red-handed? What do you think should be the proper approach and discourse of the government and us in the civil society and ordinary folks caring about national security?
So, first of all, I mean, I'm trying to understand Teresita Angsi being the parang spokesperson for the Chinoy community, right? Na, but here's my take on this. For me, I think before you defend your tribe or who you feel is a part of your tribe, defend the country first. Country first, then tribe next. Nakakalimutan ng ating mga kababayan to na before you defend kung sinong tribo ka, kung sa Duterte ka o sa kay Marcos ka or pink ka o dilawan ka, unang-una Pilipino tayong lahat. Yun ang if I were to try to give advice to Miss Teresita Angsi, that's the advice I would give. Before you defend this Chinoy, tingnan mo muna kung talaga may ginagawang kalokohan. Kasi, of course, pag humarap yan sa'yo, mabait yan. Siguro kakilala mo yan. And you think, oh, walang ginagawang masama to mo, mabait na tao to. Alam mo, kahit sinong criminal iharap sa'yo, mabait lahat yan. Hindi ibig sabihin mabuti yung ginagawa nila. Marami tayong kilalang mga corrupt na
Actually, mas
politician na
mabait po yung mga
pangingin eh.
kriminal. Mas mabait sila for the reasons we know.
Oo. Absolutely. You know how many times I hear that? I say, si ganun. I know na may isa akong kilala na parang, dubious character, sabi ng kaibigan ko. Nakilala ko siya, mabait naman siya. Hindi naman yun yung punto natin. Lahat mabait. Ano kala mo, mumurahin ka niya dahil hindi naman ganun ang mga tao, di ba?
Ay, 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 bro. Are you worried that this could get out of control as more and more spies, unfortunately, of Chinese descent or even Chinoy connection get caught? That this could spiral into something more troubling and affect the social fabric of our society. Are you worried about that?
Mainland Chinese. Pero I think there are a lot of Shinoys like myself that don't agree with that. As a matter of fact, even in my batch, na maraming mga Chinoys doon, don't agree with what's happening right now, and they don't like it because it gives a bad name to us. 'di ba? And we're very different from mainland Chinese. Very different. Very different yung kultura, ibang-iba yung pananaw at ibang-iba talaga. Walang ano, night and day na nga yan in that sense. Eh. Kaya that's why sana talaga maging mas circumspect tayo when we come to defending certain personalities. At itong guy na to na nahuli nila was caught red-handed in the act of actually installing some sort of a surveillance equipment that's a high-tech equipment that you just don't buy in a True Value or a hardware store or in a gadget store, di
Yan
ba?
Temo, hindi yan Temo.
Oo, di
Shopee.
ba? Kaya talagang kaduda-duda yun eh. So for me, tapos sabihin pa ng China na, sabihin pa ng China agad na, let's not make an issue out of this is not a spy, blah, blah. Of course, China is gonna say that's not a spy. What do you think? They're gonna come out and say, oh yeah, that's a spy. Congratulations, guys. Balik na nyo sa amin. Of course, they're not gonna say that, right? What idiotic government would admit that? Pero, yun, I'm curious, Richard, do you think ba that people that support Duterte are supportive of these actions by our government to go after these Chinese spies, or do you think they're mad at the government for doing that? What do you think? Are we divided on this issue, Filipinos, or at least nagkakaisa ba tayo na we all agree na this cannot happen?
Well, actually, a few years ago, I wrote something about five types of DDS, right? Like some of them are just technocrats ng kisagay. Some of them are just opportunists. Some of them who had good hopes and good intentions kaya bumoto kay Duterte. Some of them involves the Duterte death squad. And then some of them are from Davao and know them, family and all. So, first of all, hindi monolithic yung Duterte-based. Second, we have an evidence to show, for instance, sa SWS survey a few years ago na ang layo ng views ng mga kapatid natin sa Mindanao on the China issue than the rest of us. I'm sure there are many reasons, including yung history of Mindanao, including, yung US history of military interventions in Mindanao, the wars in Mindanao, and the fact that China really reaches out to local government units. In fact, one of our biggest worry is pag hindi makakapasok ang China at the national level, they go to small towns and LGUs and sister cities.
Mm.
Mambo jumbo things happen, 'di ba? Next thing you know, biglang may radar, may surveillance, may ganyan. Minsan malapit pa sa mga military bases. Oh, minsan nasa Davao biglang yung mga. So, I think that's the kind of big picture we have to look at. That first of all, there's a kind of a divide between Mindanao and the rest of the country on the China question and the West Philippines. For instance, there was a question sa SWS in 2022. Sa tingin nyo ba sapat yung ginagawa ng gobyerno pagdating sa pagdepensa ng ating karapatan sa West Philippine Sea? So sobrang critical ang Luzon, Visayas, biglang Mindanao, na wala problema, lahat okay. Sa tingin nyo ba ang anong mga approval rating ng mga bansa, purong negative China, Luzon, biglang sa Mindanao ang taas ng China. So first of all, you have to accept that. But having said that, bro, I think marami sa mga Duterte supporters, including sa mga kapatid natin na nandito sa Manila, people from Vismin background na hindi na nasa Mindanao, nandito na medyo exposed to realities and all. I think there are a lot of them, more than enough of them, who can see the truth. Kaya nga important naman is we distinguish our criticism of Duterte from his supporters because his supporters are not monolithic. And minsan, I directly reach out to some of the Duterte supporters and sabi ko, naintindihan ko na gusto niya si Digong for X, Y, and Z. Pero sana naman, wag na natin depensahan all the way kahit yung mga mali sa pagdating sa West Philippine Sea. So I think that's the best really we can do. If we can get 50% of the DDS base to align more with us on the West Philippine Sea issue, then we're doing fine. And if you look at the surveys, close to 9 out of 10 Filipinos want us to take a tougher stance on West Philippine Sea, and only around 3 to 5% ay full-on pro-China or friendly to China. So actually, as we speak, karamihan ng mga supporters ni Digong ay actually mas malapit sa atin sa pag-intindi ng issue sa West Philippine Sea kaysa kay Digong. But having said that, it's not like the Dutertes will not try to make themselves look like a victim or make China look like a victim. But last lang to, ang funny lang kasi dito, nakakatawa lang kasi dito is biglang iba na yung inip ng hangin nung nanalo si Trump. Parang biglang umaasa ang mga DDS na ililigtas ni Trump si Digong because they have a
Ah,
weird narrative about BBM, Biden, woke, and all of
right.
that. When it's like, hello, like Imelda, like all-time friend of Trump, and like Trump cares about you if you're not in power. Who you, di ba? But ngayon medyo hirap sila kasi yung narrative na guluhan dahil kay Trump. Because Trump is suddenly pro-China or sounds friendly to China or something like that. So good luck na lang sa kanila how to put this together. So I'm not very worried actually. to get vast majority of our kababayan on our side on this issue. I'm more worried about our senators. Are they doing their job? Our
Ah,
congressmen.
right.
So I think it's more like translating that grassroots nationalism, patriotism into policy making maturity and all. Yun pong actually. So actually, I'm very confident about the Filipino people. Mas worry ko yung mga politiko natin.
Ah, okay, yeah. Then there you go. I'm glad to hear that because that was concerning to me kung divided ba ang mga Filipinos when it comes to the issue of the Chinese
Divide is like
invasion.
3% versus 87%. Like if that's divide to you, I don't know what's
Ah, okay,
Sobrang
okay,
layo,
okay.
sobrang layo, sobrang it's not even close. But we shouldn't be complacent, right? But what we shouldn't complacent, and that's why we're having this fantastic discussion. Brother, thank you so much again for this fantastic conversation. You deliver always as good as I expected, especially dun sa mga methodical breakdown of mga latest mga pogo kingpins, right? You know all of them and you catch you know the names, you have the charts. So please take care of yourself, kayo ni Risa. And maybe you and Risa should have a podcast together. And I was like,
Ah,
oh, talking about yeah, you should do more. You have to reach out more to Risa. I think you will have interesting conversation with her. I think she would appreciate also your interventions as you're doing. So salamat brother for sharing your fantastic views and your time with us.
Great. Thank you so much, Richard. And I always appreciate our conversations. And I hope marami natutunan natin mga viewers sa ating mga usapan ngayong gabi. And let's do this again soon. And there's going to be a lot of topics to talk about
Oh,
where
next
we
week
can
more
improve
elections
our
na.
learnings.
Oo, next week more your campaign, your elections and let's do in person also. So I'm trying to just do more and more in person. So let's do also something more in person, either studio or maybe maghanap tayong tambayan dyan with Ronald and the rest of the gang. So brother, I'm sure people are more than excited to hear more about you and your own fantastic pre-election campaign kasi hindi pa official, right? And your great plans for the country. Mabuhay ka, isa kang bayani. Mahal na mahal ka namin, brother, and continue to inspire good governance and patriotism among us, the Filipino people. God bless and have a lovely weekend and happy Chinese New Year, brother.
Take care. All right. Sige. Goodbye, everyone.